I'm Patrick Peltier, and this is the third chapter of Stamped for Kids. Chapter 3, People Aren't Property, 1688 to 1772. Many other Europeans continued Zurara's tradition of harmful writings about Africans, using words to influence people's beliefs and actions. A British minister named Richard Baxter said slavery helped African people, and that there were Africans who wanted to be enslaved so that they could be baptized. An English philosopher named John Locke said only white people had pure and perfect minds. Italian philosopher Lucilio Vanini said Africans were pretty much a different species from white people. Basically, a whole bunch of people were saying a whole bunch of baloney about Africans just to justify slavery. Let's pause. I know we've been going on and on about the people working to justify slavery, but it's important, very important, to note that there were also people all along the way who fought against racist ideas with abolitionist ideas about freedom. Members of one Christian group circulated an anti-slavery petition that compared cruelty due to skin color to cruelty due to religion. Both oppressions were wrong. This petition in 1688 was the first piece of anti-racist writing among European colonizers in America. But racist ideas like tangled rope are not easy to unravel. Think about the way rope connects things. Now think about what racist ideas have been connected to so far. Skin color, money, religion, land. Let's unpause. In America, rich white landowners worried that poor white people who didn't own land would band together with Native Americans and enslaved Africans to try to make their own lives better. To make sure they'd get more land, more money, more power, the landowners decided they needed poor whites, all whites in fact, to feel that they were on the same side, that they were special. How'd they do this? By deciding that all white people would have privilege. Benefits and protections just for being white. No matter how little or how much money they had, all white people would be thought of and treated as special, better than all non-whites, and would now have absolute power to punish and abuse any African person. But with so many more enslaved people working the fields for free, enslavers feared an uprising, a revolt. So they created a bunch of racist rules, such as laws keeping black people from marrying white people, keeping black people from going where they wanted when they wanted, and keeping black people from being in positions of power. But the main rule, the one that made slavery stick, treating enslaved people like property, a thing you purchase and own like horses and hogs, not as humans, and certainly not humans with intelligence. Black girl poet. Phyllis Wheatley was hashtag Black Girl Magic before there ever was such a thing as hashtags. She joined words and lines to create verses that rhymed, a poet at a time when it was made basically impossible for a black girl to be one. She became the first African American woman to publish a book. As a young girl, Wheatley had been captured and brought to America. She was purchased by the Wheatley family who homeschooled her. By 11, she'd written her first poem. By 12, she could read Greek and Latin classics, English literature, and the Bible. By 14, she published her first poem. By 19, she had written so many poems, she began gathering them into a collection, a book. Wheatley disrupted the belief that black people weren't intelligent by turning that racist idea upside down. She had intelligence and creativity that white people just couldn't believe. Unpause. A lot of white people accepted the ridiculous, racist idea that enslaved black people couldn't possibly be smart. Then, a doctor who was against slavery came along and said that Phyllis Wheatley was proof that black people weren't born savages, but were made inhuman by slavery. Uh-oh, did you see the problem here? He's still saying that black people are inhuman, which is racist. And it's assimilationist to ignore the smarts and arts of enslaved Africans. To say that a black person had to be like Wheatley, who was taught by and like white people, in order to be considered smart. Remember, A racist idea is any idea that suggests something is wrong or right, superior or inferior, better or worse about a racial group. An anti-racist idea is any idea that suggests that racial groups are equal. Which brings us back to Wheatley. Being a black girl poet during a time when poetry was only for and by rich white people meant no one would publish her book, at least no one in America. The British published Wheatley's work, and they used her work, her intelligence, as a way to look down on American slavery. With slavery done away with in Britain, and with Britain in control of America, it made sense that the British government might soon outlaw slavery in their American colonies. But slavery was the American cash machine. It provided free labor to produce resources that would help America grow, which provided money for white Americans. And in order for white Americans to feel comfortable with continuing slavery, they had to break free of Britain once and for all.